So Captain Barnacles phoned Alexander, Christopher and Auntie Lisa. Beep, 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 beep. Now, at this precise moment in time, Christopher, Alexander and Auntie Lisa were actually whitewater rafting down the river itself, like this. Ah! Ah! Quick, paddle! Paddle, paddle, paddle! And the phone started ringing in Auntie Lisa's pocket. Ring, 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 ring! It was like an emergency call. And Auntie Lisa was like, guys, we've got to get to the side. And she paddled and paddled as fast as she could. And Alexander paddled as fast as he could. And Christopher paddled as fast as he could. And finally, they just managed to get to the edge of the river. And she answered the phone. Hello. And Captain Barnacles went, Auntie Lisa, is that you? And Auntie Lisa went, yes, it's me. What's up? And Captain Barnacles went, We're hanging. We're in a train and the train has partly fallen off the track. We just wanted a day out and it's all gone horribly wrong. Emmett's here too. And we're all the Octonauts. We're all stuck on the train. We're scared it's going to fall into the ravine and smash into tiny pieces at the bottom of the river. Auntie Lisa went, stay calm. It is going to be A-okay. Don't worry. Hang on. I think, actually, Christopher, pass me those binoculars. Yep, I can see your train dangling. Okay, nobody move. You're going to be okay. All right. Okay, I'm going to get some help. All right, bye-bye, bye-bye, bye. And she said, Alexander, Christopher, a terrible thing's happened. The Octonauts and Emmett went on a train ride and the train track broke just down the river from here. And the train itself is dangling off the river and we're a bit worried the train might fall off and smash into teeny tiny pieces at the bottom of the riverbed. And Alexander and Christopher went, no! We can't let this happen. But how can we help? And they went, okay. What we need is more help. So, they hatched a plan. Said, right, we're going to need someone on the ground. We need someone in the air. We can sort this. So, Alexander called up the Hares of Havoc. He went, guys, we need your help. And the Hares of Havoc were like, all right then, yeah, we'll help you. And they sped down towards the train track via a safe route on road. Never ride along a train track. And then Christopher rang up Sky. Hello, Sky, we need your help. And Sky went, okay, I'm on it. And Sky got in her helicopter and flew down to where the train was. So now they had someone underneath. Alexander and Christopher and Auntie Lisa paddled all the way down in their boat. But not too close because they didn't want to get squashed if the train did fall down. And they pulled the boat out on the side and they stood on the ground where they could see what was going on with their binoculars. They all got their binoculars out. They went, okay, we can see the train is dangling. This is really bad news. Right, okay. So they got their radios out. It's a lot more easier to communicate by radio. They went, Hares of Havoc, come in, Hares of Havoc. And the Hares of Havoc went, yep, we read you. What do you want us to do? And Alexander said, we need you to tie a massive rope around the back of the train and attach it to the track. Can you do that? And the Hares of Havoc said, of course, no worries. That's easy. We just go and get a rope, okay? Bye. So the Hares of Havoc were on rope jobs. And then Christopher called Sky. Come in, Sky. What can you see from above? And Sky was going. She was in the helicopter looking down. It's looking pretty bad, guys. It's looking pretty bad. I can see the helicopter. No, I'm in the helicopter. I can see the train. The track is starting to look a little bit more creakier. I think it could end really badly. Oh no. And Christopher went, oh no, Sky says the train track's breaking. Even more, what are we going to do? And then Auntie Lisa thought for a minute. We need someone really strong. Could it work? It might just work. Okay, here's what we're going to do. And she called up a scientist friend of hers. No, not JB, a different one. She called up a scientist who had been doing crazy stuff with genetics of ants. And her scientist friend's name was Bob. And she was like, hey, Bob, I've got a job for you. Remember all that genetic engineering you've been doing with those ants? Well, we need your help. And Bob went, and Nancy went, you know, we need your help. Remember the giant ants that you made? The enormous ones? Well, we need them. And Bob went, well, okay then. Great, at last an opportunity to show the world that my ants are amazing and not a threat to humanity. And Auntie Lisa went, well, let's hope they're not a threat to humanity, because that would be really bad. Okay, bring the ants. We'll see you in a bit. And she went, yes, we've got this. The ants will save the day. So, here's what happened. It was quite complicated. Bob came down with a massive lorry. And in the back of the massive lorry were like 50 giant ants. They were as big as a person. They were as big as Papa, right? And Gug Gug. They were big, grown, huge, ginormous ants. But as we know, ants can actually lift like hundreds of times their body weight. They are super strong. And Auntie Lee said, right, Bob, you need to get your ants on the case. What we need is some ants pulling the train this way and some other ants pushing the train that way. And Bob went, you got it, girl. Because Bob was a bit cocky like that. So he got a trail of ants attached to one end of the train. And they all held on to each other's backsides somehow with their ant claws. Like, and one ant at the front grabbed hold of the train. And they started heaving. Heave! Heave! And the Hares of Havoc had their rope attached to their motorbikes that was attached to the back of the train as well. And they started going, and they were pulling the train and pulling the train and pulling the train. But the front of the train, where it dangled over the ravine, had caught. And it was stuck. And they were like, we need to get the ants underneath. The ants are going to have to push it. So, what happened is pretty damn clever. The ants actually made themselves up into a pyramid shape underneath the train. And then another ant climbed on top, and another ant climbed on top, and another ant climbed on top. And from underneath the train, they went, and the ants pushed the train up from one end underneath. And another bunch of ants pulled the train. And by this point, all the TV crews from Lego City were there, taking photos and filming. And Sky was there going, okay, guys, you just got to push a little further that way. Yeah, okay. And everyone was like, wow, this is absolutely crazy. And then, with one last final, the train shifted back further down onto the track and was not dangling anymore. The Octonauts and Emmett were saved, as were all the other people on the train. And everyone went, hooray! Hooray! And they all started high-fiving each other. And the ants, they were just over the moon because they'd been hiding in the science centre of Bob for ages. They were so bored. And everyone went, wow, these ants are amazing. We could use them to build things and to change the world and do amazing stuff. And the ants were all like, yay. And so they all had a massive party with so much cake you wouldn't believe. And the ants were just so happy because there's nothing that an ant likes more than cake. They just love cake. So everybody had cake and ice cream because every good story has ice cream in it. And the Octonauts were so grateful, and so was Emmett, that they also took the Hares of Havoc and Sky and Alexander and Christopher and Auntie Lisa and Bob on a special journey beneath the sea to look at all the cool creatures down there. And they all lived happily ever after, but the Octonauts never went on a train again. And that is the end of the story. Love you. Night night.